Team India's World Cup campaign has begun, and this World Cup is very, very special because it's in India. We have home crowd support, we have fit players, we have great players in the squad. But Srini, why should Team India win this World Cup? What's so special about this World Cup that India should reach the finals? What makes this team strongest of the contenders of this tournament?
There are 4 to 5 reasons for it.
Yeah.
But the first and the foremost is that for once, this Indian team has got its combination right. Now, very often we've seen in the past few ICC tournaments, that they've either not picked a spinner that they should have gone with, or they've not gone with the right opening combination that was required, or something in the middle order that used to be missing. But this time there are no complaints. The combination of 15 cricketers who've been picked is a very good balance of good batters, good spinners, good all-rounders, whatever is available at our disposal, and kind of they're also in form. So I think that augurs really well for this.
And this hunger to win a trophy. Over past few years, there's been a drought of ICC trophies. So this time, all the members of this team have that hunger to win an ICC trophy. And a few days back, Rohit Sharma, the captain of the Indian team, he was saying that this is a very special World Cup for him as a captain because he has that hunger. He wasn't there in 2011, then came 2015, and now here in 2023, he said that he has got the responsibility of being a captain, and then obviously he has to bat well as well.
Very true. I mean, I don't think anybody would understand that word hunger from the World Cup perspective than Rohit.
Yeah.
2011 World Cup, I keep saying this, that when the World Cup happened, he was watching the final at Wankhede Stadium from the stands. He's never forgotten it. He's never forgiven himself for it.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why he bounced back to become the ODI player that he became, because he came back with a sort of vengeance, and that led to a personal appetite of his own growing, from an ODI format. But even this team has not won an ICC trophy for a long time.
Yeah.
So that put together, adds to the overall hunger that this team has built for itself. We hope this hunger can really culminated to something.
And yes, you talked about 2011. I remember that World Cup was here in India. There was home crowd support, and this time as well, all the fans will be there in the stadium because this World Cup is also in India. First match in Chennai, and India is the most travelled team of this World Cup. They will be playing at different venues, right from Dharamshala to Chennai, then Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, different places, and they will find people, Indian people out there in huge numbers cheering for the Indian cricketers.
Yeah, so the real essence of a toss in a white ball format has lost any surprise factor to it. So other than the fact that the fielding team may face due, when fielding second you may have to counter due. Other than the fact there is no real fight in between, kind of who wins the toss, who kind of loses it. So what really counts for home advantage in a white ball format right now is the crowd and the home support, which I think, well, I mean, it's an understatement to say what kind of home support India will have. Actually, in fact, this must add that, that the first match of the tournament, doesn't matter when that began, the real crowd began to show up when India's first match.
Yes, on 8th of October, it was the time, when Indian fans were all cheered up. They were all up with that excitement, and they were there in the stadium in huge numbers. But Srini, you started off this conversation with the topic of team combination. If I talk about the team combination, do you think that this is one of the best squads in this whole tournament?
Of course, so for example, talking about Indian conditions, you're going to get conditions which are like more supportive of spin bowling. You look at the kind of spin combo that India has. 3 very good spinners. They have the variety. They have a slightly kind of more kind of a wrist spinner like Kuldeep Yadav, then off spinner in R. Ashwin. Now they have the Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel were 2 spinners of the same kind. So Ashwin coming in adds a bit of variety. So I think it rounds up the spin attack. As I said, the batters up the order, middle order looks very good. So overall, it's a good all round attack. all-round side.
Yeah, and you talked about the top order. Shubman Gill did miss the first match because he was tested positive for dengue. But even then, this team India has options, you know, to put in Ishan Kishan if Shubman Gill's not there, and you know, then have the bench strength to make a proper playing 11.
Yes, I mean, like we saw in the match against Australia.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm not even. Let's not talk about the result. What is more important is that even when we lost those three quick wickets, we still had a bit of hope because we knew what was going to follow. Whether it works, whether it doesn't work, you know, from time to time, you know, these things happen. But the point is, we had not lost that hope even after 3 wickets. And that tells us something about the depth of this batting lineup and the quality of this batting lineup, which should speak on its own for itself.
Yeah, so starting from the top batters, which means the top order and then the middle order, this seems that this team is pretty much settled. Now, fitness has always been a concern with this team before the World Cup. And remember, I have emphasized on the word before because as soon as the World Cup approached, it seemed that everything's all good with Team India, and we just hope that throughout this tournament, each and every player of this team remains fit and plays all the matches. So fitness has been a concern, but do you think that box has been moved out now?
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 years, so this is not, I mean, the worries don't stem overnight because of our overnight fears. Over the last 2 to 3 years, you know, there have been so many fitness worries time and again that we have had concerns, you know, with every next series coming up, you know, in terms of who's available and who's not. We've been worried whether Shreyas Iyer would ever return as early as possible, you know. Again, Rishabh, unfortunate, but getting injured, missing out on every opportunity that was probably available to him. Jasprit Bumrah staying out for the longest time. I remember there was a time when we actually seriously began to discuss whether Jasprit Bumrah is ever going to come back
or not,
as the same bowler or not, right? And KL Rahul, you know, those constant injuries, you know, keeping him out. So I'm saying that from there to actually see what BCCI and the medical team has done in terms of not rushing these players, taking their own time. There was if you remember, there was a rumor at one time that KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer may not make it to the World Cup squad.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, so from there on to, you know, kind of, you know, watching what BCCI has done from a medical standpoint, from, you know, in terms of taking care of his cricketer, making sure that even if the cricketer is fine, we are not going to rush him. You know, Jasprit Bumrah, for example, I've been saying this again and again, like kind of, they took their jolly good time in terms of, you know, they knew exactly when they would bring Bumrah back, what kind of workload he would take in the run-up to the Asia Cup and the World Cup. And I think that's exactly what they followed, and we saw in the first match against Australia what Jasprit Bumrah was capable of, 10 overs, 35 runs, 2 wickets.
Yes. And you know, that's how the whole debate of, you know, who will be there in the team and, you know, will this player make the cut or not, all that debate is settled now because you have Bumrah, you have Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul in the team, all are fit. We saw how KL Rahul performed in Asia Cup. We also saw that Shreyas Iyer was good in the field in the first match against Australia. He took those 2 good catches, and then when it comes to Bumrah has been phenomenal. So the fitness issues are pretty much settled and sorted, and here are 5 reasons that why this team India should lift the World Cup.